All right, so something actually I had to think about with the heroism thing. I made a video and then I was like, no, I've got to do this again. That the thing with the heroism deal is that it comes out of the Greek Aristotelian tradition, where you get this character, the hero, and that at least the Aristotelian virtues, and there was other philosophers. I know there's like the seven sages or whatever, but it was the thing that eventually, especially with Christian Aristotelianism, you end up getting an explanation of the virtues. Now the Orthodox have a different structure of the virtues, and like the energies, the essences, the essence of God and His energies, and so it's kind of different with the Orthodox, but the Western world, that Western Europe was so heavily affected by Christian Aristotelianism that it really affected all of our concepts of the hero story, and so with this, you get one of the most key things is chastity. Chastity requiring the self-sacrifice, but most in the way of you have to put your desires aside, that the pathos, the passions, must be set aside. And that so with the modernists and the Marxists and stuff like that, their concept of duty to an ideal, so not the ideal, an ideal, such as Marxism. Social justice warriors are just an offshoot of Marxism. All of this is basically a pale comparison of the religious mind, of the religious hero, that we mostly get out of the British tradition. And for good reason, because really, when you look at sort of the world versus Britain, as Britain became a colonial power, it's a pretty heroic story. It's a pretty magnificent and heroic story. Yeah, and I mean the Anglosphere is dope. Fundamentally, is dope as hell, and that's why everybody wants to live in the Anglosphere, because in the Anglosphere is the very concept of the virtuous person, the virtuous citizen. The common man can improve upon themselves and become a virtuous person. You always have second chances to save your soul, all that kind of stuff. But so with the homosexual and the modernist, the reason why you're also seeing that nobody can write a female hero very well, a female heroine very well anymore, is because it's not like Wonder Woman, where she's dedicated to her people and to the gods, and stuff like that. There is no thing like this. This is why with black heroism, such like this is also failing, because it's just basically worshiping one's race as the ideal or an ideal, and that's it, and then acting on that. So it's not the concept of the divine or the cardinal virtue of chastity. And so with sexual licentiousness, you even have this more and really with modernism and sexual licentious culture, you end up really with people who can't even dedicate themselves to a second date. And it is self-evident that really, especially that there is no heroism without, in our culture, Christianity. We don't have a ideal or a moral structure that really does. The only other things we have are kind of these variety of anti-heroes like Josie Wales, or really that the ideal is just vengeance. So one of the things about the ideal as vengeance as the ideal in modern, the Anglosphere after really about the 1600s, this is heavily influenced by a Masonic degree, because vengeance is wrong. Vengeance is mine, so saith the Lord, mine alone, if I remember right. So there's a Masonic degree that I think it's the Elihu Cohen's degree or something like that, and you gain you basically are seeking out vengeance, and that's where you get the you and your brothers go and you get the three jubes: Jubilum, Jubilo, and who's the other one? Not Tubal Cain. Jubilo, Jubilum, and there's another one, but and JEWB, and the Jubes is these three people who killed Hiram Abiff. And the idea is that this right of vengeance, and it's just something that I really think that that's where that becomes sort of this idealized moral concept, and then just continued from there in the artists among artists, where it becomes this kind of concept of some kind of that there's something righteous and good about vengeance, which most of the time what I'm now kind of getting from social justice warriors, feminists, modern women, and especially the genital people, that's the way they see the universe. They basically live in a quote unquote society that they think has done something to them. Now nobody knows what they're talking about, because of course nobody is oppressing homosexuals. Nobody in the Western world has oppressed homosexuals for at least about 2 generations. And I know people want to say something else, and they'll be wrong. They'll just be wrong. There was actually ample reason for people to say, no. You see, you can't have somebody like that in a sensitive position because they'll get blackmailed, because so many of these people have licentious habits. And they have licentious habits, and when you have somebody who can't control their chastity, that's the first stage of their fall. That's the first place, and that's where that comes from. This is also the same with, like you choose either unmarried men for missions that are extremely daring, and you're likely to die, or you have the kind of men who they're married men, family men, that you know that they truly believe in the ideal. That it's beyond just belief. It's actually that they really are committed to the ideal, and they're committed. They have wife and kids. You find this inordinately likely with people who are like Navy SEALs and stuff, like people who they are trained very, very well to die, to kill and to die, and they'll still get married and have kids. Now, it totally is a super difficult kind of thing to do, to get married and have kids when you are in the teens. From everything that I've ever read about it and heard of in interviews, what's it called? Like Richard Marchenko talks about this a lot, where a lot of his men ended up like losing their wives. He did. I think he got divorced twice, I believe. Pop, Bad Pop, from Redonkulous. He wasn't in the teams, but he was a hard man. It's like that was a hard dude. He was a man, double man, and but that's not what women want. Women want somebody who will, be a kickboxer, and then they'll get a nice office job and just come home and be happy and hand her money, and she doesn't want somebody who they're dedicated, they're committed, they're a hero, and they have to sacrifice. And he's expecting, well, honey, I'm a hero, you'll have to sacrifice as well. No, that's just how it is. But we don't make women like that anymore. Later.